you want to understand movies like a native speaker? Today, we'll be using Back to the Future to improve your English and help you sound more American.
We're sending you back to the future!
We'll be looking at the difficult vocabulary, intonation, and we'll even have a quiz at the end so you can test yourself and see how well you remember some of the key vocabulary. Plus, if you stay to the end, you'll find out what a square is.
Welcome to English Stripped Bear.
With B. Barrington, we'll be taking a time machine back to 1985 to study this classic sci-fi adventure. There are no spoilers for this 40-year-old movie, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. But seriously, who hasn't seen it?
We'll be doing the whole video in English, so use the subtitles if you need help.
Back to the Future is about a time-traveling Michael J. Fox who goes back to 1955 to learn all about the power of love.
I think we all know the story already.
Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Got it.
Before we get into the first scene, it's important to note that in many sci-fi stories, there are often words that are made up to help create the technology. Surprisingly, Back to the Future is fairly well grounded when it comes to its creative vocabulary. Just to make sure everyone is clear, here's a breakdown of a few of the more common suspect words we hear throughout the story. The DeLorean.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Yes, this is a real car, which had a very short production life, mainly in 1981 and 82. The next word we hear a lot is gigawatt. Everyone knows that a gigawatt is a real word, but how much power is 1.21 gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! Great Scott!
What the hell is a gigawatt?
That didn't answer your question. How much power is 1.21 gigawatts?
That's about enough energy to power around 1 million light bulbs. Or about one street in Tokyo.
Oh.
Lastly, we hear a lot about the flux capacitor.
A vision! A picture in my head! A picture of this! This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Unfortunately, this is pure fiction. There is no such thing as a flux capacitor, and it's just a writing device to help tell the story. That being said, the flux capacitor has become pop culture lore. Okay, let's take a look at our first scene with subtitles. Here, Marty is talking to Doc Brown and has just learned that time travel is possible.
Does it run like on regular unleaded gasoline?
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium!
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Hey, keep rolling there. No. This sucker's electrical. But I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity I need.
Doc, you don't just walk into a store and buy plutonium. Did you rip that off?
Of course, from a group of Libyan nationalists. They wanted me to build them a bomb, so I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts. Come on, let's get you a radiation suit. We must prepare to reload. Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Hey, keep rolling there. No. This sucker's electrical.
Okay, let's look at some of the uncommon vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and idioms first so we can fully understand what the characters are talking about. Kick is a slang term for power, energy, or speed. Here are a few example sentences.
I need a car with more kick.
Coffee gives me the right amount of kick in the morning.
I've never heard kick used like this before.
We often use kick like this when we're talking about alcoholic drinks. A cocktail with a kick has a high alcohol content.
Neat.
Next, we have sucker, which is one of those words that has a lot of different meanings. It's a slang term for a person or thing, and here it's being used like a pronoun. This is a really handy word when you don't know what to call something. I've gone through 3 of these suckers already.
This little sucker was really expensive.
Did you rip that off?
Of course, from a group of Libyan nationalists. They wanted me to build them a bomb, so I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts.
To rip off means to cheat someone, especially financially. They tried to rip us off when we were buying a used car.
I got ripped off by a taxi driver at the airport.
The last word we have in this section is shoddy. We use this word to describe something that has been poorly made. He did a really shoddy job on the report.
Most products today are shoddy.
Great. Now let's look a little closer at how the dialogue is spoken so we can learn how to sound American.
Cool.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
This is such a great line. Notice how the first 4 words of the question are bunched together and linked. As well, the G sound in telling gets dropped. So it doesn't sound like, are you telling me, but, are you telling me?
Are you telling me?
Good. Next, we have that, this. There are lots of TH and S sounds here, so it can be very difficult for some speakers. That, this is linked, and the T at the end of that gets dropped. So it sounds like that, this.
That is.
Next, we have sucker. This is where the stress of the question is. If we look closely, we can see that it's not just a vocal stress. Notice that there's a physical movement. A vocal stress with a physical movement helps give more emphasis. It's a really powerful tool.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Okay, let's take a look at that scene one more time without subtitles.
Does it run like on regular unleaded gasoline?
Unfortunately, no. It requires something with a little more kick. Plutonium.
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Hey, keep rolling there. No. This sucker's electrical. But I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity I need.
Doc, you don't just walk into a store and buy plutonium. Did you rip that off?
Of course, from a group of Libyan nationalists. They wanted me to build them a bomb, so I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts. Come on, let's get you a radiation suit. We must prepare.
In the next scene, we have Marty and George talking to Lorraine at school as Doc Brown observes the interaction.
Lorraine?
Calvin!
I'd like you to meet my good friend George McFly. Hi. It's really a pleasure to meet you.
How's your head?
Oh, good. Fine.
Oh, I've been so worried about you ever since you ran off the other night. Are you okay? Come on, we're tardy. I'm sorry, I have to go. Come on! Isn't he a dreamboat?
Doc, she didn't even look at him.
This is more serious than I thought. Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Precisely.
Whoa, this is heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
What?
Oh, I've been so worried about you ever since you ran off the other night. Are you okay? Come on, we're tardy. I'm sorry, I have to go. Come on! Isn't he a dreamboat?
The first word from the scene that we'll look at is run off. This means to leave in a hurry. He ran off when we confronted him.
I got a phone call from work and had to run off.
Tardy means late. It's more on the formal side, so it's not something you would use with your friends. The word tardy pops up quite a number of times in Back to the Future, especially from the principal, Mr. Strickland.
Tardy slip for you, Miss Parker.
I got stuck in traffic, so I was tardy.
Please forgive my tardy reply.
The next word we'll look at is dreamboat. This is a word mostly used by women to describe a very handsome man. It's become very outdated and hasn't been used much since the 60s. I was voted class dreamboat my senior year.
The first time I laid eyes on him, I thought he was a dreamboat.
Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Precisely.
Whoa, this is heavy.
There's that word again, heavy.
Amorously means to have a strong sexual desire. I'll engage amorously with anyone after a few drinks.
We amorously glanced at each other throughout the night.
This is followed immediately with infatuated, which means an intensive but usually short-lived passion. I was infatuated with her all through high school.
I was infatuated with ponies when I was a little girl.
To have the hots is the casual counterpart to Doc Brown's amorously infatuated.
So, it's the same thing?
Yeah, just a much more casual and cooler way. Do note that we need to use have and the article the. Also, hot is pluralized to hots. I had the hots for Scarlett Johansson.
I have the hots for him.
Heavy is another slang term that isn't used so often now. It means that something is serious or intense. Things got heavy when the police showed up.
It was a really heavy situation.
Lorraine?
Calvin!
I'd like you to meet my good friend George McFly. Hi. It's really a pleasure to meet you.
How's your head?
Oh, good. Fine.
Oh, I've been so worried about you ever since you ran off the other night. Are you okay? Come on, where's Hardy? I'm sorry, I have to go. Come on! Isn't he a dreamboat?
Doc, she didn't even look at him.
This is more serious than I thought. Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
Whoa, wait a minute. Doc, are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Precisely.
Whoa, this is heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
What?
In the next scene we're going to look at, Marty confronts Biff in the school cafeteria.
What? You want it. You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
Oh, well, maybe you are and you just don't know it yet.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
You heard her. She said, get your meat hooks off. Please.
So what's it to you, butthead? You know, you've been looking for a... Since you're new here, I'm gonna cut you a break today. So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? You want it. You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
To want it is an interesting phrase. The it here means sex.
Is it just something men say? Or can women use it too?
Yeah, women can use this phrase as this is what's called a euphemism.
Got it.
I want it in the morning.
I could tell he wanted it as soon as we met.
Filthy.
What? I was just making an example sentence.
No, that's our next phrase. Filthy mouth. This means a habit of speaking in an offensive way. Many popular comics have filthy mouths.
You have a filthy mouth, Barrington.
What? No, I don't.
It was just an example sentence.
Following that, we have not that kind of girl. This is a really old-fashioned way of saying a girl doesn't have sex. I thought she was easy, but it turned out that she wasn't that type of girl.
I don't hang out in bars talking to guys. I'm not that kind of girl.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
You heard her. She said, get your meat hooks off. Please.
So what's it to you, butthead? You know, you've been looking for a...
Next, we have one of my favorite phrases, meat hooks. A meat hook is a hand or an arm. I wrapped my meat hooks around her and gave her the biggest hug I could.
Get your big meat hooks away from my pie.
Finally, we have Biff's classic insult, butthead. This is part of a long list of words we can use to insult someone we think is stupid or annoying. He got drunk and started acting like a butthead.
My boss is such a butthead.
Okay.
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
The last thing we're going to look at is Biff's misguided attempt to appear clever. Make like a tree and get out of here makes zero sense. It should be make like a tree and leave.
I don't get it.
What grows on trees?
Leaves?
Right, it's a pun. Make like a tree and leave. Get it?
Oh, that's terrible.
Most puns are. Let's look a little closer at one of Biff's lines now.
So what's it to you, butthead?
Most students who study English have probably seen contractions like what's from what is. However, there's so much more linking happening here. What is it all get linked and run together. The H and T sounds in what are dropped. And there's no break between the S of is and I of it. Was it?
Was it?
The to and you get linked together. To you.
To you.
Finally, we have butthead. Here's where the stress lands, and again we have a physical action with our stressed word, giving us the true power of butthead.
I love that word.
So what's it to you, butthead?
Let's watch it all again.
What? You want it. You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
Oh, well, maybe you are and you just don't know it yet.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
You heard her. She said, get your meat hooks off. Please.
So what's it to you, butthead? You know, you've been looking for a... Since you're new here, I'm gonna cut you a break. Today. So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Okay, you don't need money and it don't take fame to help us out by pawing that like button.
Liking really helps us and also lets us know that you are enjoying the content we are making.
Don't forget to check out our website, English Strip Bear, for additional notes on this video.
Plus, we have a free monthly newsletter with lots of extra goodies.
Like practice exercises and additional vocabulary.
We release new lessons every Friday.
Links in the description.
Okay, let's talk about Square.
Alright, in this scene, Marty and Lorraine have just arrived at the school dance and are parked outside.
You mind if we park for a while?
That's a great idea. I'd love to park.
Huh?
Marty, I'm almost 18 years old. It's not like I've never parked before.
What?
Marty, you seem so nervous. Is something wrong?
No. Lorraine, what are you doing?
I swiped it from the old lady's liquor cabinet.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't drink.
Why not?
Because you might regret it later in life.
Marty, don't be such a square. Everybody who's anybody drinks.
You smoke too?
Marty, you're beginning to sound just like my mother.
You mind if we park for a while?
That's a great idea. I'd love to park.
Huh?
To park is a slang term that was popular in the 50s through the 70s that means to engage in sexual activities inside a parked vehicle.
To have sex?
Not specifically. This can be any sexual activity, but it's usually activities like kissing, touching, and oral sex.
Huh.
We parked up on the ridge where all the couples go.
I haven't parked since college.
I swiped it from the old lady's liquor cabinet.
Yeah, well,
To swipe is a slang term that means to steal. I swiped this from the shop when the staff wasn't looking.
I'm gonna swipe my boyfriend's Xbox when he's at work.
An old lady, as it's being used here, is a slang term that refers to a mother.
So, an old man would be a father?
Exactly. My old lady's sick and I can't leave her home alone.
My old lady was a teacher, so my education was strict.
Marty, don't be such a square. Everybody who's anybody drinks.
Jesus, you smoke too?
Marty, you're beginning to sound just like my mother.
To be square, or be a square, means to be uncool. This slang term is still used today, but it's not quite as popular as it was in the 50s and 60s. Don't be a square, let's go out and party.
I was such a square in high school.
To a kid, the worst thing you can do is to sound like a mother or father. Very much like being a square, this means to be uncool. I want to get to bed early.
You sound like my mother.
Jesus, what have I become?
Don't drink too much tonight.
You sound like my mother.
Do you mind if we park for a while?
That's a great idea. I'd love to park.
Huh?
Marty, I'm almost 18 years old. It's not like I've never parked before.
What?
Marty, you seem so nervous. Is something wrong?
No. Lorraine, what are you doing?
I swiped it from the old lady's liquor cabinet.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't drink.
Why not?
Because you might regret it later in life.
Marty, don't be such a square. Everybody who's anybody drinks.
Jesus, you smoke too?
Marty, you're beginning to sound just like my mother.
Since Back to the Future is such an amazing movie, we wanted to end this lesson by looking at a few of the language jokes that are hidden in the movie. Before we get to that, let's test your knowledge to see how much you learned. Sucker can mean a person, a thing, or an activity.
A and B.
Fill in the missing word. I need something with more blank than beer on a Friday night. Dreamboat, rip-off, or kick.
C.
I'm not that kind of girl means I'm old-fashioned, I don't have sex, or I don't like being tardy.
B.
A dreamboat is something you would ride on a date, a reference to Titanic, or an attractive person.
C.
Last question. Which of these words also means to rip off? To remove, to be late, or to insult someone?
A.
How did you do? Let us know down in the comments. Okay, now on to some really fun stuff. Let's look at some of the hidden language jokes.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Yeah, well, history is gonna change.
Check out the license plate of the DeLorean. It reads, at a time, or out of time.
Oh, that's cool.
Another interesting thing is how much 1985 does and doesn't change.
What do you mean?
Well, Hill Valley is an economically depressed area. Much about that doesn't change. For example, there is still a porno theater in the town, and it's running the same movie we see at the beginning, Orgy, American Style.
Great title.
From what I understand, this is a real porno.
Really?
Yeah, Hill Valley is kind of a scummy place. There are things that do change, like the name of the shopping mall. At the beginning, we can see the mall is called the Twin Pines Mall, but at the end, it becomes the Lone Pine Mall.
Why is that?
Because Marty has a direct interaction by destroying one of the twin pine trees in 1955.
Oh my god, I never noticed that.
There are lots of little things like this throughout the movie, which is one of the reasons why Back to the Future is so rewatchable.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. Okay, don't be a square. Let us know down in the comments what you thought about Back to the Future.
If you enjoyed this lesson, then you should check out one of our other videos on learning English with movies. It'll help improve your vocabulary and cultural knowledge so you can understand movies like a native speaker. Thanks for watching today.
Bye bye!
See ya!